Hey everybody, welcome to lessonswithtroy.com. I'm Troy Brenningmeyer. Well, today's lesson is going to be another concept lesson, meaning there's no tablature for that. I'm just going to be showing you some of my concepts and ideas, more for improvisation, more of an intermediate to advanced kind of lesson. And I'm calling this one Note Choice, Phrasing, and Style. So I'm going to show you, we'll dive kind of deeper into thinking in numbers, chord tones, scale tones, and kind of how to use phrasing to work between different styles, like say bluegrass versus blues versus country. And of course, a lot of these styles do overlap too. So the first thing we want to do is, just like I've said in a lot of my different lessons, we want to start thinking in numbers, meaning instead of necessarily licks and the note names and things like that, we want to take it a step further. And we want to put numbers to those so that we can start manipulating those numbers and getting different sounds that can work with different styles. For example, I'll talk a lot about root thirds and fifths, or maybe that's a flat third, or maybe that's a flat seven or a major seven. And if you don't know necessarily that, I will try to explain it a little bit in the lesson, but if you want a deeper understanding, I suggest, check out some of my music theory lessons. Okay, so we've already talked about flatting the third, gives you a bluesy sound or a minor sound. Flatting the seventh gives you a bluesy sound. There's flat seven, six, fifth. Here's flat seven, flat third, second, root, flat seventh, sixth of my scale, fifth. Right? And we've talked about the fifth, flatting the five gives you that blue note. A lot of times that's just sliding into that. Or kind of a passing tone. That's another phrase for maybe you're wanting to get to this note, right? The fourth of our scale. Let's do it here. But you're on the fifth, flat 5, 4. So we've already talked a little bit about altering some of these chord tones, right? For sure. Well, you can alter them even more to give you some crazier sounds. For example, let's say we want more of a minor sound. Of course, we're going to hit that flat third, right? That B flat. Well, what you can do too to give you more of a natural minor sound is also flat the sixth, and that'll give you that half step between the fifth and the sixth, which would be much more minor of a sound, right? Now, what's a neat thing to do, and this will give you more of a, let me see, what is that? Yeah, this would give you, I'm not sure, more of an exotic sound, I guess. And that's maybe not putting the flat seventh on there. What if we flat the sixth, but we put a major seventh, so we get this kind of a sound. We have much more of a, an Indian sound, or more, whatever it is, some sort of exotic sound. And you can do that, work with changing up certain half steps. You can do different patterns, like they have scales called half-whole scale, where you basically do a half step and then a whole step, a half step and then a whole step. And that sounds hard, but it really isn't. Let's say we have a G root here. We do a half-whole scale. You just go up a half step, go up a whole step, half step, whole step, half step. It's just kind of hard to remember where you're at, I think. Right? Working with patterns too, you can do what's called a diminished pattern, where you go up in what's called minor thirds, but it'd just be 3 frets at a time. So, and that has a definite diminished sound. So. So you just go G, then up to your 8th fret, up to your 11th fret, up to your 14th fret. But you're moving 3 frets at a time, or what's called a minor third. That's a real common thing to do with diminished. So we flatted the 6th. Let's get back to kind of more of a traditional thing. We flatted the 6th. You know, that's a real common thing to give you more of that minor sound. We flatted the 5th. Flat 4 is honestly, that's just your 3rd. A flatted root is your major 7th. Flat, where are we at? Here, C. We flatted the 3rd. Flat 2nd. Oh yeah, let's talk about the 2nd. So this kind of gets more into that half whole kind of sound. That flat 2nd. Definitely gives you more of a, you know, those half steps in certain places gives you more of an exotic or a minor sound. Now, another thing I like to do, especially in the key of G, is do this kind of make up a scale where you're going open to your 1st fret, right? And that would be that G to A, that half step flat 2nd sound, right? Also, that's the jaws thing, right? That little half step there, minor 2nd sound. Okay, but if we keep going, we do root, flat 2nd, 3rd, 4. So those just stay within the key. And then 5th, flat 6. So that's kind of a cool scale that you can just kind of make up. And it sounds neat. Definitely sounds exotic when you start putting hammer-ons and pull-offs to it. Then I like to put the F natural in there too, the flat 7. And then you want to maybe do that up on a single string. Just think about how that is, what we're changing there. Root, flat 2nd. We're going major 3rd to 4th. Stays within the key. So root, flat 2nd, major 3rd, 4th. And then we're doing 5th to 6th to flat 7. So root, flat 2nd, major 3rd, major 4th, and also I think they call that perfect 4th in music theory, but I'm just going to say major 4th because it stays within the key. So root, flat second, major third, fourth, fifth, and then flat sixth, flat seventh, root. So if we, and notice the jump there, that half step from here to here. That major third to flat second is a really cool interval jump. But anyways, gives you some crazy fun. I'm having fun just kind of messing with that. But neat sounds, different styles. I think that's quite a bit of stuff for one lesson to check out. So I say keep going with that. Try maybe doing different alterations of those chord tones within the key of G. G works great because you got all these open strings that you can let ring out to really give you, as you play those chord tones on one string, you can let one of your lower G strings ring out. Right, and it gives you that sound that really gets your ear used to that sound.